Well, good afternoon and welcome to the University of Birmingham's online open day. My name is Ben Goodwin and I graduated from the university many moons ago with a BA in history. And my first introduction to the university was on an open day just like the one you're experiencing online today. So I've come back and I'm going to hopefully give out a little bit of words of wisdom about what it's like to live and study here at the University of Birmingham. Now, as you're probably aware, we've been running live activity throughout the day on our virtual tour site, and we've been filming down at Central Campus, and obviously now we're here at the Vale, which is where a lot of our student accommodation is located. But don't forget, you can go onto the interactive map and look at the live tweets and Instagram photos that have been taken on campus today, and you can see them drop in as and when they're taken. In this broadcast, we're focusing on accommodation at the University of Birmingham. At the university, we have three main accommodation villages, each offering a safe and friendly home from home, and all are within a short walk from the main campus. Now, I'm here today in the show flats at Shackleton. I say show flats because we can't actually go into a real flat because there's people living in there and, you know, it could be a bit awkward. So we're here in the show flat, but I can assure you that they all look the same as this. And the Vale, in fact, is the largest of our three accommodation villages. As well as somewhere to live, the Vale has a shop, cafes, a bar, and all the other facilities you'd expect when living away from home for the first time. Now, accommodation at the University of Birmingham varies slightly, and there's lots of choices to suit all tastes and budgets. For example, we've got single study bedrooms, and they're either ensuite or shared bathroom facilities. So obviously shared bathrooms make things a little bit cheaper. But we also have studio flats as well. And you can choose whether to go self-catered or meal plan. Meal plan basically means that all the food that you require for your stay here at the university is included in the price that you pay. Now, as I said, today we're in Shackleton. That comprises of single study bedrooms, ensuite facilities, and a shared kitchen between six. And you can choose whether or not to have a meal plan here. So let's have a quick look around. As you can probably guess, I'm in the kitchen at the moment. Nice, spacious kitchen. Really great place to start the day, end the day, chill out with your housemates, that kind of thing. Most people will get their own cupboard. And some people like to label them. But you find that once you move in here, you all end up sharing each other's things. You all muck in, you know, that kind of real blitz spirit that us British people are really proud of, you know, and you just all sort of share everything. You know, there's always somebody who's running out of milk. Oh, I'll grab some milk on the way home, that kind of thing. But you can't actually see it. But behind is a nice little lounge area as well, where you can chill out, you know, mull over what's been happening during the day. And, you know, some students like to get a TV as well, but always remember to get a TV license as well. It's very important that you do that. Fridge, freezer, cooker, you know, everything you need here. All you have to do is bring knives and forks, pots and pans, that kind of thing. So it's a really great place to bond and get to know everybody. And, you know, I'm sure people will have flat parties, so you get to go around and see what people have done in their flat, because everybody likes to decorate them, make them a little bit original. But my tip is white tack. Always put up posters with white tack. So we're going to move now into the bedroom, and you can see what a study bedroom is like here at the University of Birmingham. Again, nice and spacious, nice work surface over there, loads of places for storage. And, you know, you're not going to spend most of your time here, but it is a nice little haven for you if you just do want to get away from it all, have a bit of downtime, bit of chilling out, and just to get your head down and do some work, really, because that, at the end of the day, is what we all come to university for. So, it's a big part of it anyway. But anyway, enough about me rambling on. What you want to hear from right now is a student who is currently studying at the University of Birmingham, because I'm a dinosaur compared to what these guys are experiencing. So I'd like to introduce my special guest, the lovely Tom.
Hi there.
Hello, Tom. You joined us this morning,
Yes.
and now you're coming out of the bathroom there,
Yeah, it's quite
emerging
nice in there.
the ensuite facilities. So, just tell us, you know, university, it's the first time that you know, for most people anyway, it's the first time that they've lived away from home, and the first time that they're sort of, you know, responsible for certain things. Just tell us what it's like living away from home for the first time at university.
Well, for the first few weeks, it's definitely intimidating. Having to, like, you can't rely on the fact your mum's downstairs cooking your dinner. Like, I know for the first few weeks, it was like, oh, it's 10 o'clock and I haven't eaten yet. Because it's just getting yourself into the habit of the fact that you need to start cooking if you're not used to that. But and then getting myself up in the morning as well, that was always a bit of a challenge. But you do get into that routine, and it is eventually like nice and refreshing to get into a routine where you are the one in control of what time you eat, what you're having for dinner. And it's just a really almost weirdly maturing in the way you'd expect it, but it's just kind of really nice at the same time. Like, it's daunting at first, but then you really come to enjoy it. The ability to be able to take control of your life and move onwards as you get older.
And I remember me, and I imagine it's the same these days, that night before I moved to university, I was so nervous, like butterflies in my stomach. Yeah. Am I going to make friends? Am I going to, get on? Am I going to like it?
Am I going to give myself food poisoning?
Well, yeah. Luckily, I didn't, thankfully.
Yet, so fingers crossed.
But just take us through those first couple of weeks and how you got settled in, what it was like.
Well, because each halls has its own residents association, which is your team of RAs. They are, at the beginning of the year, they're students in the year above who've lived in the halls you're in. And then about halfway through the year, new people living in the halls at the same time as you get elected in, and they change every year. And during the first few weeks, they do special Freshers Week activities, like obviously there's alcoholic events, as you would expect, for a welcome Freshers party. But you also get the non-alcoholic events. The Guild of Students puts on big Freshers fairs, and there's you get loads of companies coming in giving away free gifts. I got a free laptop case, like free pizza they had there. There's loads of just free things advertising like that, like gym pass discounts if you want to do that sort of thing. There's obviously all the sports fairs and everything. So it's very easy to find like-minded people. And of course, once that, like the first week of Fresher stuff, like about halfway through, your department, whatever you're going into, will start putting events on. Like for physics, we did a wine and cheese meet and greet, which I think they do every year, where it's just like, hey, come meet the lecturers and other people in your year, and also sign in to show you're here. But in a way that's very social, and you get to know people very easily.
Now, the accommodation that you lived in the first year was not one of the three villages that I've already referred to. Just tell us about where you lived and why you decided to live there.
I lived in the Beaches, which is a third-party accommodation run by a company called Liberty Living. The Beaches itself is now called Liberty Gardens. They changed their name halfway through this year. But it was previously owned by the university, as far as I understand, and then it was bought by a third-party company who also run another accommodation called Liberty Court, both of which are slightly further out than the other halls. Liberty Court being the ensuite version of what Liberty Gardens, where I live, is. But Liberty Gardens, it's all single study bedroom, 5-person rooms, but it's also like a big, really nice, almost feels like a small housing estate thing. So it's got a really nice community feel to it. You've got a big secure gate. So it's really kind of secure. And you also, as you're further out, you're actually nearer to the town centre, which means that, yes, it doesn't have the on-site bars and everything. However, you're a 5-minute walk from the big Great Crasher, 5-minute walk from the big Tesco superstore. So almost amenities-wise and entertainment-wise, you're at a better position than some of the student villages. The only downside is you have a slightly longer walk, maybe at 10 minutes extra to get to campus in the morning. But once you get used to it, 10 minutes extra on your routine, it's not really anything worth bothering. And if you're really lazy, you can always just buy a rail pass and get the train from 5 ways to campus.
And an extra long walk is good for the glutes anyway, isn't it?
Well, especially if you're out drinking the night before.
Exactly. But for those people who do live in one of the three main villages, which most people do, how easy is it for them? Because obviously they can walk onto campus very quickly, but how easy is it for them to get into the city?
Oh, there's plenty of taxi companies around. There's Castle Cars, which is the guild-vetted taxi company, and during Freshers Fest you get given a little key ring where you can call the number on it, and if you've, say, lost your wallet or something on a night out, if you have this key ring on your keys or somewhere you're not going to lose it, they will give you a taxi, and they will take, when you get back to your house or some way, you give them your student ID number, and then you call them up again, and then you give them the money for that taxi ride in the morning. So there's a way always to get around places. So even in the worst case scenario, when you have lost your wallet, there is a way to get back, provided vetted by the guild, which is always nice. And of course, it's not that far. The Vale, because I said the Beaches and the Vale are about 10 minutes apart. If you do want to walk to Tesco's, it's just about a 20-minute walk. However, there are taxis, there is Cost Cutter on the Vale, there's spas on campus, there's so many shops around. It's kind of depends on what you're looking for. And then of course there's always the option of doing a delivered shop.
But public transport is pretty
prolific. Public transport is pretty much everywhere in Birmingham. It's a big city. It wouldn't be anywhere without any good public transport system.
Okay, so you've just come to the end of your first year, and remind us what you're studying again?
I'm doing a 4-year degree in physics.
Wow, 4 years?
Yeah.
Okay, does that mean you've got a year in business? Or
I'm doing a master's course.
Right, okay, brilliant. So you're doing physics, you've just come to the end of your first year, all's going great. you're going to move into Selly Oak
Yes.
next year. So for people who don't know, Selly Oak is basically the suburb of the university that's closest to the university. I mean, you tell us a little bit about it.
Basically, it's almost like the old chocolate villages type thing. You've got a load of terraced houses from when Birmingham was a big worker city. So it's got loads of houses that have been renovated to be student accommodation styled. So rent-wise, they're relatively inexpensive. They're student budgets. When you count in the bills, they're comparable in prices to halls, which is good. And so, but then the fact that it's so close to campus and so many students live there, it almost feels like it's a separate campus itself. Like not campus, like halls or something like that. So it's as there's so many people there. Like if you're worried about, I'm going to be in a house, yes, I'll be with the people I've decided to move in with, but all my other friends are going to be miles away. Like you're used to having everyone on your doorstep at halls. It's not much different. Like at furthest, if you're living in Selly Oak, you're going to be about a 20-30 minute walk from campus, and then you're probably about 10 minutes from another group of friends. And of course, everyone does house parties. There's all the bars and everything you need because it's a good student village. There's takeaways and everything you want. And so and
supermarkets as well.
Supermarkets, yes. There's an Aldi and Sainsbury's that are right within the centre. Tesco, Metro, everything like that. Everything you need. Of course, as you're close to campus as well, you can there's another train station in Selly Oak, so if you're really lazy, you can get the train again. But it's got, from what I like, I've got a friend who's, he's in technically the second year now, but he's on his first year physics because he did a different year to begin with. But he's been living in Selly Oak, and from what I've got to him, like visiting his house and stuff, it just feels like you keep that nice community feel, and I think that's something kind of special what I've seen about Birmingham.
Yeah, and I guess it's a safe place to live, both on halls and in Selly Oak as well.
Yeah, from what I understand.
Yeah, so the whole process of getting a house for your second year, how does that start, and how early do you have to think about getting a house, and who do you have to decide you're living with? Just tell us a little bit about that process.
Not as early as people say. Like, obviously, if you're looking to people to live with, don't assume you're going to live with the people you're with in halls next year, because I'm not. I'm living with people from my course. But it's always worth, like, when you get a group of friends, maybe just before Christmas, going, hey, what are you thinking of doing, moving in wise? Try and get some ideas together. Then it's best, like maybe mid-January, start going out and doing housing looks. Really good place to start for that, I found, was the Guild of Students' own letting agency, The Shack, where it's basically a free letting agency. They vet all the landlords and they check everything to make sure it's up to their standards. So it just means that you get this really good service, and we told them the sort of thing we were looking for, so like a 6-bedroom house, some amount of bathrooms, I can't remember how many we have in the end, but like all double beds, everything you want from a house, and like say approximate budget, and they go, well, here's a list of 5 houses. If you go out and don't like any of them, we'll give you another 5. We've got another 5 here, but we think these are the 5 that most match your thing. One of them we went out for another 5 viewing, but it was actually one of the original set. We went back for a second and a third viewing, and that's the one we're going for.
And I think as well, it's worth mentioning that there are more available properties in Selly Oak than there is a demand for. Yeah. So it's always worth shopping around, isn't it?
And there's always, quite often, what happens is some people will move into a house and have a space. So if you do end up on your own, you can almost always find someone like within your course or something who has a space in their house and move in with them, for example. I know some people who've done that.
So obviously there's people watching the feed now from all around the world. Hello, world. And they're probably, a bit nervous about, if I'm thinking of coming to Birmingham, but I don't know anything about where I want to live or that kind of stuff. What one piece of advice would you wish you had when you were in their position that you could impart on the community?
Don't panic about it. There's always someone willing to help. Like, there's everyone at Guild, there's people in higher years who are always willing to, like, share some advice. You can, like, there's this whole student mentor scheme, there's the Shack, there's anything like that. If you feel like you have a problem, you don't need to panic. There is someone there who will help you with it.
And I guess as well, if it is before you start the university, there's lots of people that you can ring up beforehand, and even social media now as well. You can chat to people on there beforehand.
Like, I know the university Twitter's quite good. You can get in hold of them, like on the map and everything today. You can also call like the admissions for your specific department if you think there's a problem, and then they're almost always quite happy to discuss what you're talking about. And so, like, if there's a thing where you decide you may want to change your course, you can always call them and be like, I may want to change my application or something like that. And they'll see what they can do.
Well, Tom, thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your wise words of wisdom there. Unfortunately, that's it today, ladies and gentlemen. We've come to the end of our virtual open day. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful, and it's, you've learnt some new things about the university and fallen in love with it as much as we have here. Do have a look at the virtual tour site. That is open 365 days a year, 7 days a week, and that is always operational. But for now, thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you here very soon. Thank you.